There were times when I was young and everything started feeling late. And the only way to fix it was to play my favorite video game. Though the years may pass us by, there's still one thing you can't deny. I am gonna need a heaping helping of 32-bit awesome. When you're a jumping robot rabbit landing on a whale, or you're running from some ninja monks who are on your trail, or just a Raccoon City rookie blasting zombie scum, you're gonna need a heaping helping of 32-bit awesome.
Hello again, my fellow gaming gurus. I'm the Geek Jock, and this is 32-Bit Awesome, the show where I tell you why games you used to play are still awesome. This month, Twisted Metal 2. Aw, yeah. Twisted Metal 2 was the shit. Not like a pile of human excrement, but like a pile of badassery that has no association with poo whatsoever, and actually smells pretty good. It's probably the best example of pure car combat in gaming history, and many would argue that it's one of the very best games for the PS1, period. My fondest memories of Twisted Metal 2 were playing with my brother Rob in the co-op mode, and beating the game every day with every character for about 6 years of my life. Every time I bring up Twisted Metal 2, I find it funny that a lot of girls like to play this game back in the day, almost as much as guys did. It's just so masculine with cars and explosions and violence. You wouldn't think that females would want anything to do with it, especially back in the mid-90s. But it's a testament to the quality of the game to know that gender boundaries were never an issue with its popularity. Anyways, enough about that crap. Let's get started. Twisted Metal 2 is a car combat game where you take the control of a vehicular combatant as you battle through the Twisted Metal competition. Why is there a tournament, you ask? Honestly, I think Calypso was bored. He's obviously some hyper-powerful being inhabiting our worthless dustball of a planet in hopes of killing some time before moving on to another world in another dimension which might provide even more options of divertisse than ours. Imagine Calypso's perspective. You're all-powerful, incredibly wealthy, and ugly as fuck. You'd want to see what kind of shit you could pull in the name of entertainment too. I once heard that Julius Caesar flooded the entire insides of the great Roman Colosseum, filled it with battleships, and had them duel each other to the death in an epic all-out war, just for shits and giggles. Et tu, Calypso? The subtitle to Twisted Metal 2 is World Tour, which indicates that we get to battle at different landmarks around the planet. Calypso comes up with the idea almost as an afterthought.
But where will the contest be held? Oh, the world will be my battleground.
Yeah, man, good idea. Let's do that. The controls for the game are totally unrealistic in comparison to racers like Gran Turismo. Your vehicle moves more like a tank than a car. You can pivot around on a dime when fully stopped. The physics are crazy, and controlling the momentum of your car is necessary whether you're touching the ground or not. It takes a little getting used to overall, but once you have it mastered, the rewards of outmaneuvering your opponent and blowing them to bits makes it totally worth it. Radar is incredibly essential in being an effective vehicular killer. Each character is brilliantly color-coded to the point where you know exactly where each one is on the radar. This helps you figure out who to zero in on. Oh man, I'm in the yellow on health, but I have a few power missiles and a special. And Sweet Tooth is over there, and he's still in the green, and he's such a total shithead to try to fight, so I think I'll go for Thumper, who has a dangerous special, but his armor is really terrible. Should be able to fuck him up pretty good. Yeah, that's right. Strategizing the shit out of this game. One feature that TM2 does that most games don't ever do, and totally should, because it just makes sense and is retarded to not do, is to give the player the ability to change the HUD display and screen orientation on the fly, in real time, by pressing select in a corresponding direction simultaneously. This is pure genius. On some levels, it's better to see everything vertically. In others, the horizontal way is beneficial. Why doesn't every co-op game do this? Why must we be stuck with only one way to orientate the screen? Why can't other games let me get rid of the radar if I don't like it? Or change the way I view my inventory? Why, I ask? Why? It's because they're stupid. That's why. The game is fair about how it rewards/punishes you. For instance, when you die, you lose all the weapons you had, but the enemy's health carries over as if you never stopped fighting. The enemies don't regain all their health. That would suck and make it hyper frustrating for the player. Also, when you go to the next level, you retain the weapons you collected from the last level, so you don't have to start over from scratch. These points I'm making are simply outlining that the developers of Twisted Metal 2 had a strong understanding of what gamers constitute as just or unjust mechanics. It's those little touches that make good games great. And Twisted Metal is fucking great. One of the things that makes Twisted Metal insanely good is that it provides an incredible balance to the gamer. It does this by having the player focus on 3 key areas of their inventory: health, ammo, and energy. The energy gauge is used to perform various special moves, similar to those in fighting games like Street Fighter. Each special move takes away from your energy bar, which only recharges over time, just like the specials. I really like this mechanic of the game because it adds another element to watch for while engaged in combat. You can toss a napalm out of nowhere, drop mines, and even create a protective bubble shield. Easily the most important of these attacks is the freeze, which is left right up. You better become real comfortable inputting that, and quick. So many moves depend on you to immobilize your opponent that I can't believe people actually beat this game without using the freeze attacks. The freeze opens up the combo system, which makes it even more like a fighting game. Like this! Yeah! 0 to death combo! Eat my shit, Outlaw 2. Although each vehicle is outfitted with standard machine guns, you're going to need a lot more than that to take down your enemies. This is where the weapons come in. Each one is so unique it incorporates its own strategy of use. There are 3 missiles. Fires are common but can't home in very well. Homing missiles literally chase enemies but are relatively weak. And power missiles are, well, powerful. Ricochets look like cartoon bombs with little fuses at the top of them and everything. They bounce around the levels until they hit something, which kind of reminds me of the green turtle shells from Super Mario Kart. The ricochets hold a special place in my heart too, because when I was a little kid, my brother and I called them Rinkos for no apparent reason, other than being just dumb kids, I guess. The mega powerful napalms are hard to hit with, but make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside once you connect. Remote mines are pretty cool. Planting it next to a frozen opponent, driving away, then detonating it to the sound of their deathly scream is one of my all-time favorite video game experiences. Lastly, there is the lightning weapon. It only works on a few levels at specific spots where the lightning shoots out of energy conductor things. For as rare and difficult as they are to use, you'd think they'd be more powerful. Something that is oftentimes overlooked by gamers these days is a little element called character design. I'm a big proponent of the idea that great games often have wonderful, imaginative characters, and Twisted Metal had an entire cast of them. From the disgruntled office worker in Simon Whittlebone to the skeleton motorcyclist Mr. Grimm, each character was tops in their vehicle and character design. This level of quality was necessary for a game like Twisted Metal, which was essentially the love child of racing and fighting game genres. Every epically badass fighting franchise has an outstanding roster, and TM2 is no different. As gamers, we like to have the option to identify ourselves with certain typecasts or certain types of play. Some people like slow and powerful characters, others enjoy speedy or more strategy-based ones, and some like a nice balance of both. This isn't anything new, and games today do it all the time, but it's worth noting that each character in Twisted Metal has a totally fun and different methodology, and it's up to the player to decide which one is theirs. Most of this decision is based upon each character's individual special move. There's a lot of them, so I don't think I'll go through each one here. Instead, oh, fuck it, here they are. Roku shoots a crazy boomerang, Twister spins around like a psycho bitch, Axel needs more power, Mr. Slam literally slams you, Shadow has unlimited remote mine souls, Hammerhead plays loud music, Outlaw 2 uses her Warthog fires the missiles, Mr. Grimm launches a giant skull, Grasshopper does her yeehaw thing, Thumper has a flamethrower, and Spectre's ghost missiles can go fuck themselves. Halfway through the game, right after you kill everyone in Amazonia, you have to fight the first of 2 bosses, Minion. Minion was Twisted Metal 1's final boss, so facing him as a sort of mini-boss is pretty daunting. He's super fast, super armored, and sports the wickedest special in the game, a barrage of homing missiles which freeze you. At first, he seems totally impossible to beat, until you realize his secret underground bunker. My strategy was always to place a remote mine at the entrance, position myself at the center of the bunker, and pepper him with ricochets and freezes until he dies. Yeah, take that, you lava-proof piece of shit. The final boss of the game is Darktooth, which is actually just a gigantic ice cream truck, kind of like Sweet Tooth, but he's really powerful. He's not super difficult, so I think Minion might be a little bit better of a boss than him. However, he does have 2 forms, one of which is a spinning head. I think you all know how I feel about spinning boss heads. They're totally fucking awesome. What are these guys fighting for anyways? Everybody in Twisted Metal competition has their own vendetta, but ultimately each of them wants the mega prize for winning. A single wish granted by Calypso for whatever their hearts desire. Because Calypso is a super douchebag, he basically deceives everyone when they ask for their wish. He does an old literary trick where he twists the words of the wishers and turns it into something totally crappy. For example, when Warthog requests the body of a 20-year-old to replace his crusty old self, Calypso gives it to him, but doesn't change his head into that of a 20-year-old. So Warthog worked his ass off to win the Twisted Metal, and now he's some weird freak with a young body and an old face. Like I said, super douchebag. The sheer amount of fun that Twisted Metal tries to exude is evident in almost every aspect of the game. You can run over hapless civilians and juggling mimes, destroy the Hollywood sign, blow up the Eiffel Tower, and turn the Statue of Liberty into a bikini-clad babe. You don't necessarily have to do any of this shit, but it's freaking fun. Remember when games were about being fun? I do. Twisted Metal 2 is a masterpiece of 90s gaming camp. Its dark humor, wonderful character design, fast gameplay, and just general excellence make it an indisputable joy. If you're like me and had the gracious opportunity to play this game, then consider yourself a lucky little gamer. If you didn't, that pretty much sucks. This has been 32-Bit Awesome. I'm the Geek Jock. Join me next time when I tackle another masterful relic from gaming's past on 32-Bit Awesome. Adios, muchachos. Adios.